So some support for Altona, who does have the benefit of previous experience. We'll catch up with her in a moment. Frosty Secret, still a little bit fractious. It's no real surprise, is it, looking at those shots, because as soon as she came into the parade ring, she was a little on edge.
Yeah, she was very much on edge and caused a little bit of a scattering of a few people paddock side as well. And there's been a couple of others which have been a little bit on their toes. Shambles was noticeably on toes as well. Silvestre de Souza had to have a couple of goes at mounting her as well. And now Doha was reluctant to go down, and just Philip Makey needed a lead on for that one to go down as well.
OK, we both had a look at probably most of them as they went through the preliminaries. What did you like in terms of their physical appearance?
In terms of physical appearance, Mirabal, very much the paddock pick as well. And the stable have got actually, Peter Chapelheim got an interesting record here at Warwick with their 2-year-olds. It's 2 for 11 with 2-year-olds, just over 5 years. So they've been quite selective about what they've run. 9 for 41 with 2-year-olds this year, 22% strike rate. So again, the selectivity from the Chapelheim stable. There's plenty of standing in the pedigree as well. You just wonder, just looking at him, certainly looked the best.
Yeah.
Just wondered, it wasn't quite there yet. Certainly one to watch for the future. One of the real interesting ones here. The sheen on the coat was beautiful. Okay. Really looked good, in a good shape and make of horse, but just looked like it might just come on for the run.
Okay, you mentioned the stamina and the pedigree. 7 furlongs at Warwick is, particularly when the ground is on the quick side, as it is today, is essentially quite a sharp test, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a little bit of, it's not harbour too much on there. There's lots of stamina. There is a little bit of sprinting pedigree in there, because the dam produced a winning 2-year-old sprinter in Tipsy Girl as well. And I quite like the profile of that Chapelheim yard here, but probably more a sort of place selection than anything else, but very much one to keep an eye on in the future. You think second time out might well be the time to catch Mirabal, but physically the pick of the paddock.
I liked Kylan in appearance. She filled the eye, and I was a little disappointed just in the size really of Hey Fiddle Fiddle. I thought she was still quite on the small side. She's had a couple of starts already. We know to an extent what she's capable of, but Kylan had a much more of a presence going around.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Stuart. And Hey Fiddle Fiddle, it's useful looking, but didn't really feel the eye. Certainly not Mirabal or Kylan did. And though Hey Fiddle Fiddle has shaped well in 2 maidens so far, you just got the feeling that just a little bit disappointed. Of course, we've got the Hills angle here with birthdays and retirements, etc., etc., and they might well have a very good day as well. But again, just look, last time, if you look back at the races, the second time out, just looked a bit one-paced under pressure last time out as well, and just wonder. I just think a bit more cut in the ground might suit this one. It could be a little bit quick for Hey Fiddle Fiddle this afternoon.
Okay. So she's quite nimble in physique. It might just be the configuration of the track suits her rather more than it suits one of the 2 of the other more sturdily built types in this race. Let's touch on Altona, because there has been some support for her on course. Redback filly of Mick Shannon's, and she did show a bit at a big price at Newbury.
Yeah, certainly, but the maiden itself, it was a pretty average race. If you go through there, there's not, always when looking at maidens, you're looking what comes out of it, the subsequent form, and it's not one of those that sort of eyeballs out and you think, oh, loads and loads of winners out there. Quite take your point, should be better for what was a very considerate introduction, and it's an easier task here and should be a lot sharper. A lot of Mick Shannons do come on for the second time out. He's 6 for 43 with 2-year-olds here over the last 5 years at Warwick, so it's not an eye-popping record, but you could see her coming on, and you respect the money without being bowled over by it.
When you look at 2-year-olds, particularly from first run to the second, are you ever influenced by the price they went off in their first start? And I mentioned that with regard to Altona, because she was clearly unfancied for a debut, being sent off at 100 to 1. Do you regard that perhaps as more of a negative, as something that maybe attracted support on debut but then ran green, if you see what I mean?
I'd probably be more looking at how they ran rather than the price, because the price is relative. I mean, we've got a horse running later on in the piece of William Haggis's. His name escapes me at the moment. We'll flick through. It's in one of the other maidens.
Teacher,
that's the one. And that went off at 9 to 1 on debut and finished stone bonking last. And when I looked this morning, it was a 33 to 1 chance today. So that sort of. It's gone the other way, that one, so, and you'd expect it to sort of come on for the run, but so no, it's more how they ran, and picking up a point of Steve Mellish always picks up on, is that I'd rather see horses put in the race rather than running on through beaten horses with maidens, so they've actually done something. I'd rather see them up there drop back rather than just passing those dropping back and just sort of
those that are being
I can understand the need for a considerate introduction, but those that are up there and shown a little bit more take the eye to me.
Shall we have a look at the market, if we can, as loading commences for race to Warwick? It's that sort of race, isn't it? 9-2 co-favourites, Hey Fiddle Fiddle, Kylin and a Pretty Pebble. We haven't mentioned a Pretty Pebble. The 6-1 from 8's Altona and 8-1 Killassie. The same price as Miraball, who's in from 11s. It's 12s bar those Aldoha on the drift. Pretty Pebble has had a couple of starts and a certain degree of promise in each of them.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the relative prices here, the 9-2, the market gives Pretty Pebble and Hey Fiddle Fiddle the same chance, but Pretty Pebble, actually, to 2 maidens, should look to have shown far more promise. 7 furlongs in debut, then back to 6 furlongs, which I didn't really think suited. And back up to 7 here, Pretty Pebble. If you're not worried about it being the 3rd run in a maiden and therefore running for a handicap mark somewhere along the line, then Pretty Pebble, it's probably got more of a chance than Hey Fiddle Fiddle. Again, in the paddock, she certainly filled the eye more than Hey Fiddle Fiddle did.
So 9-2 the field as we continue the loading process. 1 or 2 of these a little on edge, but we're getting through it quite swiftly. So final line in summary, Andy, what do you like then?
I'm really going to keep an eye on my on the one of the paddock picks, Miraball. I expect Kaylin to run well. Be interested to see how she gets on from that inside draw as well. And Pretty Pebble will also be on the short list as well. Of the others, well, I suppose you've got to pay attention to Altona, but it's very how Miraball gets on for me, and there has been a little bit of late money as well with that Chapelheim record here.
Yes, clipped around the 8-1 mark from a double figure price. It's Aldoha who gives trouble at the start, gave a little bit of trouble on the way down as well. She showed a little more in that Redcar Maiden last time, keeping on into 4th place, having been slowly away in green on her debut at Catterick much earlier in the summer. I'm going to keep an eye on the runner Kylin. She took my eye in the parade ring. She comes from stall 3 in the familiar grey and pink colours of Raymond Tooth. Handlers winning the battle with Aldoha. They usually get their man, or in this case, woman. And there are only 3 or 4 more left to load, so it's probably... Oh dear, that's Fiddle Fiddle. And, oh, well done. Yep, he managed to hold on to the filly. Michael's up. I hope he's okay. I think he is.
Very nasty experience.
Fortunately, they went backwards in different directions. It could have been a whole lot worse if she'd gone right over on top of him. But the others are loading swiftly. It might be a good opportunity to head back up to the box and rejoin Jim. That was a horrible incident, Jim.
Certainly was. Very, very nasty fall. As you were saying, Stuart, just as well she didn't land on top of him. But she's quite a few of these fillies are pretty new and pretty nervous, and one setting off others. Aldoha is noticeably restless in the stalls after being very, very stubborn. Now, Hey Fiddle Fiddle, I think they may go without Hey Fiddle Fiddle. That's it, racing. Off and running without Hey Fiddle Fiddle, and in the centre, one of the first away is Killassie, going fast early, down near the inside away smartly Miraball, and up there is Pretty Pebble Aldoha. Just in behind them, being scrubbed up, is Kylin to hold position on the inside there of Cincinnati Kit. Further back in the field then is Killassie, the outside from Frosty Secret, and at the rear of the field is Chambles. On settling down though, and it's Pretty Pebble, the inside for Martin Dwyer from Miraball. A length away then is Kylin, who's had to work fairly hard to get a 3rd posse on the inside here of Cincinnati Kit. Further back then Aldoha is trapped a little wide. Killassie is just behind them from Frosty Secret. 2 lengths away then Altona, who's travelling on the outside of Chambles. 3 furlongs left to travel as they race down towards the entrance to the home straight. And Pretty Pebble on the inside, a half length to Miraball. They're a length and a half clear of Cincinnati Kit. Then Aldoha, who's going wide. Kylin behind them. Further back is Killassie. They're followed then by Frosty Secret. Altona's under the whip, and well back in the field is Chambles as they race up now with just over a furlong to go. And it's Miraball being tackled in earnest again by Pretty Pebble. Pretty Pebble and Miraball together inside the final furlong. They're about 3 lengths clear then of Frosty Secret running on. It's Miraball sticking to his guns well on the near side. Far side is Pretty Pebble. They race up towards the line, locked together. Pretty Pebble just doing best from Miraball. In 3rd place behind the Frosty Secret, Altona ran on fairly well. They were clear of Killassie, and further back in the field then Cincinnati Kit.
Photo finish.
Now these 2 horses had the race between them throughout, Pretty Pebble and Miraball. Miraball, the Not Now Cato filly, trained by Peter Chapelheim. Pretty Pebble, Brian Meehan's Cape Cross filly. And that is very close. That is very tight. Well, it was 1.01 Pretty Pebble, and it is, well, it is 1.01 in the photo, Pretty Pebble. Well, good luck if you're taking that, but it's probably one. That was my initial impression, and I like initial impressions. 109s just now, Mirrorball, in the photo. We'll just wait the judge.
There is the outcome of the photo finish for first place. First, number 13, Pretty Pebble.
Yep.
Second, number 11.
Yep, Mirrorball
6.
in second place. Good debut effort from Mirrorball. Pretty Pebble, the benefit of experience. She's got back up. She was definitely headed, but she has got back up. And the boys in box 11 got the photo right.